Welcome, Bone Scholars. Yep. So we have the second live streaming session for communication skills. We are going to have this session for almost half an hour from now. So we might close at 9:30. So those who are interested in learning about communication skills, who are struggling to find answers to the questions they have about communication skills, they can join us and they can listen to this communication skills masterclass, and they can also ask questions. And I'm going to discuss lot many questions that people have in their mind about communication skills. First of all, most of the people think communication skills is nothing but it's all about English. You need to speak more and more of English. And that's how it has been sold, that's how it has been projected. That whenever we talk about communication skills, it's you have to master more and more of English. But actually, it's not like that. You need to go in a very larger perspective when you talk about communication skills. It does include English, but it also includes many other things. So it's a wider area, it's a wider canvas that we talk about in communication skills. Whenever we have a discussion, or whenever I have discussion with my students who are taking sessions from me on communication skills, the biggest problem that we always hear about is how do we have the environment for English? How do we maintain the environment for English? There's nobody with us to talk to us, have conversations. How do we improve our communication skills? But that's the way we have to learn. We have to find our environment around us. We have to create environment around us so that we learn more and more of communication skills. Let's go back to the confusion that what exactly the communication skill is. I've just logged into my Quora account. It's a forum where lots of questions are being asked. People ask a lot of questions, and you get the answer for that. If you're not heard of this, you can just note it down. It's quora.com, Quora.com. One of the biggest. It's a major website where you will get answers for your queries. And I'm trying to find out here what questions people have about communication skills, and I think your questions also be similar to that. What about communication skills? The top question that is figuring at the moment is how can you improve your communication skills? How do you rather how do I improve my communication skills, or how do I improve my English communication? So there is a reference to English here. What is the best way to improve one's communication skill and build up confidence? Another very good question out here. If you have the similar questions, you can send some indication to me on that. Yeah, this is your question as well. And what are the communication skills? What are the communication skills? Like, people are kind of confused. What are the communication skills? What are the best ways to improve communication skills? That is the next question that we have. And there's one more, which is the best book to learn communication skills. How do I develop communication skills within 1 month? Well, that's a little tricky. I think within 1 month, I always say communication is a life skill. You just won't be able to get it within, say, a 1 month, a period of 30 days or 90 days, as we normally say. You have to keep on working on it. You have to keep on working on it. It's a life skill, and you need to keep on working. You keep on learning. You need to observe a lot, keep listening about listening to people. How do they talk? What do they talk? And this is how we learn communication skills. But within a month, I really doubt that this really works. Yeah, you will get better within a month than your previous, whatever was your condition, whatever was your status. You will definitely improve upon that. Improvements will definitely come. How can I improve my communication skills and personality? Now, this is another good question. Now, communication skills and your personality, they are definitely related, because when you have a good communication skill, it reflects on your personality. And if you are a fantastic communicator, your personality will be entirely different. People would love to talk to you, people would love to interact with you, and they will love to always be with you. And that's the personality trait that you develop, and communication skills help you. It's kind of a master stroke. Once you have the communication skills, you are good to go everywhere in any situation. So personality is definitely related. So how can you improve communication skills and personality? One of the way to do this is, yes, you have to focus on communication skills, and your personality will automatically get developed with this. Now, what is the importance of speaking skills? Now, when we talk about speaking skills, it's a part of the communication skills, because it's one of the pillar that we have. For communication skills, to learn communication skills, you need to have reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. So speaking is already there. You Why we normally fail in communication skills is because we just don't do it. I mean, we just don't understand what is important, whether we should be speaking more and more, or we should be listening more and more, or we should be writing, or we should be reading. In my opinion, everything has to go hand in hand. Only then you can learn communication skills. Right. Then, how can an introvert improve his or her communication skills? Now, introvert do have the communication skills. It's just that they don't display the capabilities that they have. So these are the questions. So there, we'll be talking about these questions in the live sessions that we're going to have in the due course. But I just wanted to point out that these questions have cropped up in the minds of people, and these questions are very common. I mean, if there are hundreds of people, I think 80 to 85, 90 people will have this similar kind of a questions in their mind. They always would like to know that what is happening, how do we improve upon, what's the way to go, and where do we start, how do we start, who will help us. And the number one thing that I've noticed is people hesitate. I mean, those who are connected to me on learning communication skills, I have majority of the people on a one-to-one session because they just can't. I think it's there with everybody. I'm not saying that it's only them, but then everybody wants to keep it with them. That they treat it as something very negative on them. That they are not able to have the communication skills properly, and they are not able to express themselves. But the best way is to get rid of it as soon as possible. Be good at expressing your things, be good at expressions, know more and more how to present things, how to speak up, how to get rid of your anxiety. But this is a step-by-step process. We can't do it all together. We have to go in a very systematic manner, also trying to know to find out that what's the problem with the individual, how what has happened in the past, or what is happening in the current situation that you are not able to communicate well. Why is that you are not able to speak? If we say that the English is a global language, and then you need to uh, communicate in this language, you should be able to communicate in this language. If you really want to excel in your career, then we need to find why are you not able to do it. Are you studying in a medium where English is not at all spoken? Are you in the region where English is not at all spoken? So these are the factors. This is how we can start. This is how we can build uh, a good start. We can build a rapport with you, and start working on the communication skills. Now there are a number of important traits of communication. We call them C's of communication, 7 C's of communication. The Your communication has to be very clear, and it has to be correct, and it has to be concise. It also has to be concrete. It also has to be coherent, complete, and courteous. Now, all these factors included will make your communication better. So, if your communication is not clear, for which you definitely need a language to explain. So, if you're not good at that, then you will find problem in giving a clear communication. Correct. Now, you should also, while speaking, it's very difficult to keep your mind and your vocal thing in synchronization. What do you think you can't speak, and sometimes what you are speaking, you don't even know that what are you speaking. So you have to be correct at that. So have a lot of control on your speaking, and your mind, what it tells you. You have to speak your mind. What do you think you should be able to speak? But then at the same time, there has to be a correctness in that. There has to be a crisp delivery of your communication. It also needs to be complete. I mean, you need to ensure that the communication is complete, and you have closed that end, and that's what is called the communication which is perfect. You have to have the element of courtesy in it. So you have to be very courteous, because if it is rude, and if it is abrupt, then the communication is not considered to be okay. I mean, people would not like to be closer to you. They would not like to talk to you. So this is how the C's of communications work. Most of the time, our conversations will be not planned. They will be always spontaneous. We have to we have to frame sentences at that point of time, and we sometimes won't have even the time to even frame sentences, because if we are weak in our language, or say that we are from say that we are from a country where English is not spoken, then you will first translate your first translate sentence that whatever you want to speak in English, and then deliver it. And that's really difficult. That's really difficult. Sometimes it doesn't get you there, because you struggle for vocabulary words. You do not have the knowledge of the sentence structure, then you won't be able to structure your sentences properly. The tenses won't come. So there are many things that we'll have to work on together to get the communications right. Yes, the only solution to this is speak more and more. Speak whatever you feel like. Try to speak more and more, so that you have that practice of speaking more. We don't have to think about the structure. What are we getting it? We can do that later. We can correct that later. But at the moment, we should not be focusing more on the grammar part, and we should be worried too much about whether I am speaking a correct thing or not. We have to just keep doing it. I mean, that's the way to go. In the conversations, there is very important thing to know, that we have to have the questions which are open-ended, and we should have the habit of asking open-ended questions if we are wanting to have conversations. Because if you ask the closed questions, that the conversation ends. And we can learn communication only when we get into the conversation. If we get away from conversation, we don't want to get into the conversation, then communication, improvising your communication skills will be far more difficult. The examples of the open-ended questions is, say that you say, how did you feel about the presentation? Now, it is not closed question, because somebody is not going to say yes or no. He will have to explain that how he felt about the presentation. So the when somebody answers, it will give you a chance to have a conversation which might go longer. You might find something. You will be prompted to ask questions uh, from the answer that the person is giving. So it's not a closed ended uh, question. It's an open-ended question. So you have to if you have to have a conversation if you want to have a conversation, then you have to ask open-ended questions, so that you take the conversation a little longer. I'll give you one more example. Can you describe the challenges you faced and how you handled it? Now, this also prompts somebody to explain that what were the challenges that he faced, and how did he or she handle it. And in between, you will have a chance to ask many questions that might crop up in your mind, and ultimately, the person will be able to answer. Okay, now the example of the closed-ended questions is, did you attend the meeting yesterday? Did you attend the meeting yesterday? This is one of the question which is closed-ended. That is, yes or no. No, I did not attend the meeting. Oh yes, I attended the meeting. Beyond that, they need not to be anything, because The question itself has been put up in such a way that you can always say that yes or no. You don't have to really explain. Can you describe about the meeting that you attended yesterday is a open-ended question. So here the communication will happen much faster. It might go longer and will be a lot of learning during the conversation. So these are the examples of open-ended and closed-ended questions that we should always prefer when we want to have a conversation with somebody. Okay. Now there are lots of other things that are important to master in communication skills. If you really want to master, we need to learn how to journal, and we can take the help of AI usage, and we'll be talking about that in one of the stream that we will do. We need to develop the listening skills. We also have to talk a little bit about the personal branding, vocabulary, enhancing tips, and how to think in English is another important area that we should focus upon. How to learn communication skills from the podcasts and the social media that we should learn, because that's something which is available to us in plenty, and which is available to us for free, and we should make use of it. Tune in to the podcast and the social media which are from the area where people are speaking largely in the language that we want to focus upon. Say for example English, then we should tune in to the podcasts which are from that region where English is spoken more. There's no point in listening to your regional language and then expecting that I'll be able to master the English also. We also need to have interview skills, which are very important for the career, for the youth who really want to get into different organizations, who really want to get into organizations. And this is the first step if we are not able to communicate well. And this is the checkpoint where the a recruiter basically would like to know that how expressive you are. Can you bring in the business for them? Can you really clinch the deals? Can you crack the deals? So very very vital point when it comes to the interview skills. Voice, a tool for communication. Voice is very very important, and we should know the quality of our voice. We should know the gravity of our voice, what our voice is. Can our voice attract somebody? Is it kind of repelling or it is appealing? That's what we should be aware of. So one has to analyze the voice very very carefully, which we normally don't do. I mean, there are a lot of people who have not even heard their voice. How do they sound when they speak to somebody on mobile? How it works? Are they sounding good, or they are sounding irritant? Like an irritant. One more important point is presentation skills. This is another for the professionals, those who are having, the presentation as one of their tasks, one of their main tasks to do. Here, the presentation skills are another, because you need to the hold on to the audience. You need to capture them for say half an hour. At the same time you have to pass your message also. So here the presentation skills, they become very very important. So these are a few points that as a good communicator we should we should try to incorporate, and we should try to hone, we should try to make our skills better and better in this case. All right. So thank you very much. So with this, we are ending up our session. We will have the next streaming, live streaming tomorrow morning with some other topic, and we will discuss at length about that. Thank you very much.